Not
But now
great.
Brandon Miller, he's been great. But
He's been. I just watched him. I just watched his highlights at All-Star break. I was looking at myself and looking at the TV like I didn't know he was doing this. Like I knew who he was coming out of college, all the stuff coming in.
Yep.
I knew he can play. I just didn't watch him this year. So when I watched that, I said, yeah, he might be a problem if he keep working at his craft.
I
He
agree.
might be a little problem.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope.
They roll coverage.
Yeah, how's it been going?
Dude, it's been going good, man. Finishing my masters, working a little bit, everything like that. Of course, watching some ball, all the, the combine stuff going on. Yeah, what about your Heat, man? It's been kind of crazy.
It's the normal. Honestly, the Heat is every year they do the same thing. We already know, coast through the season, fix and tinker things. Let the young guys get in. Also, let the guys who been shooting off, let them shoot a little bit more. So I think they're actually doing great. Like I said, we have one of the best coaches I think ever. To be honest with you, at least not ever, top five. I don't want to say ever. I apologize. Top five at least. When
I was
you
about
think
to say,
about it.
he's up there.
Yeah, I ain't mean to say one. I'm just in this era, I think one to the tail end. It was Greg probably 6-7 years ago, but honestly, Eric Spoelstra probably came along at the tail end of Greg run, like 2010, like that last run that the Spurs had was their last run.
Yep.
So like I said, can't see who else in the league right now. When I say ever, I meant to say in the league right now. I don't think no one is better than him.
Yeah, I was about to say
Especially with
Popovich is in the league, so he's in there fighting with him. But I mean, Spoelstra's up there, man.
He hasn't done as much with less.
I would agree with that, yeah. But regardless, I'm going to call this one today Dealer's Choice. I know you talked about some questions you might have wanted to ask and everything like that. So yeah, I'm letting the floor come to you. I, Roll Coverage, am coming to you today, Sinatra. Welcome back. I haven't seen you since July.
Last year, yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while. A lot going on. Once again, roll my eyes. Chief wins again. Oh, insane.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just-
Don't
yeah,
even
just
get me
keep-
started on that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, oh my gosh. Let's see. I know everybody. We wanted to do this a little sooner, but it was just going to be the same topic that literally every national media, every local person would probably be talking about. So I'm kind of glad we waited. Like you said, we're on to the next season combine, which honestly, I've been paying attention to the combine, but I really haven't because of the heat, the Hurricanes coming back into practice and everything, and plus with all other teams, because I watch everybody, especially my team, but I watch everybody. So with the combine, I have been watching. I've been kind of holding off, waiting on the draft because I've been on overload. I would have been just thinking about too much. Brain would have been rattled. So I'm kind of focusing on my own team and what we need as the Miami Dolphins. But yeah,
that's
waiting
a
on
good
the draft.
one. That the Dolphins are a good one. They just released Jerome Baker. They're not going to tag Wilkins.
In the Dolphin community, I don't want to make this a Dolphin thing, but in the Dolphin community, everybody's been mad about Christian Wilkins walking, which I understand. He's a Dolphin for life. He embodies what everybody needs, but to pay him $25 to $30 million is just egregious.
I agree with that. That's what my Panthers are going through right now with Brian Burns. Everyone's like, man, should we pay him this 27, 28, 29? Brian Burns, I give it to. Christian Wilkins.
And watch this. Put it this way. If this was Christian Wilkins, if this was Tua second year, I would gladly take it. But we're rolling over to the fact that we had to give Tua the contract. Brian Burns, you guys can take a hit because you guys still have Bryce under rookie contract.
Yep.
That's the only reason I would take that hit. This is the time you load up. Even with Caleb Williams coming, Justin Fields, this is the time you load up because they're on rookie contracts, and I feel like you get them as much talent as they have right now to where they know how to play the game the first 5 years, and then you can start letting go to pieces because now he has grown up as a quarterback. So, but I would never.
You just got to hit the quarterback though. Like my Panthers didn't hit the quarterback. Your Dolphins hit the quarterback. Tua is amazing. But now you guys are paying Tyreek. You guys are paying a lot of people. I think Tyreek's last year of his deal is like $45 million. Like he's never going to see the end of that deal. They're going to renegotiate or they're going to trade him up out of there.
Either not trade, but this is why I love our owner. I love him, but I hate him. No matter what the money is, he's gonna pay it. So if Tyreek say, like you say, 45 mil, he's never gonna make 45 mil his last year. You know why? Because Stephen Ross is gonna say pay him 45 mil now, so we don't have to worry about him then. That's why I love our owner. He just don't care. He always just pays unless it's a Christian Wilkins. I don't know, for some reason we never pay our own people. But like I said, this one is kind of different because I'm not paying him 25 to 30 mil. That's Aaron Donald money.
I agree with that.
And we just signed Zach Sealer. So think about it. Phillips is up. His contract, he's definitely better than Christian Wilkins if he stays healthy, which I think he will. Then you have Zach Sealer's getting paid $10 million already, which is the other D tackle. Then you have Bradley Chubb that's getting paid $20 million. There's no way you putting $80 million in your line. It's no way you do that.
No,
not in that D line.
No, and it's just not worth it. Like, they can go out there and just let them walk, go draft some guys, and they'll get good production, but they don't need 30 million production when you just named all those guys that they already have out there. It doesn't make sense.
We need to go get a linebacker and another corner. I want Snead. The only reason I want Snead, everybody say you have Ramsey. The reason I want Snead is to make Ramsey a real chess piece on the board. If we don't get Snead, now Ramsey basically have to play corner because he can't move around because he has to lock down a number one corner. If we get Snead, we can put Snead on number one corner, then Ramsey can play linebacker, nickel, safety, whatever he wants to play, he can play anything he wants. And that's what our DC came in saying, we're going to use him as a chess piece, use him all over the board. But I just don't know how you do that in 2024 because you need two good corners on your team at all times. I don't care what defense you got. It could be the number one defense in the playoffs or when the big games, you're going to need two corners. There's no way you can get away with one.
I agree. And the way your division is right now, like the Jets are talking about going to get Devontae Adams. The Bills might want another wide receiver out of the draft, possibly with their first round pick. And then, the Patriots rumors are they might go get Marvin Harrison Jr. It's like, if they go add some of those pieces, you guys need two corners to be in that division. Like, it's not going to be a joke.
Bill Belichick is finally going, so I know the New England Patriots is going to go after certain guys that we like. He went to the Patriots? Yep. Like you said, they never drafted a wide receiver in the first round, ever. So to go, what's his name?
Was it Jacoby Myers years ago?
No.
They took somebody at the end. N'Keal Harry.
Yes, and he didn't pan out. Yes, I knew. Yep. Yes, N'Keal Harry. So, yeah, they need to draft. They get Marvin Harrison. What pick is the Patriots this year?
3.
Damn.
Yeah, so
to be them, but
it's either going to be Drake May from UNC, Jaden Daniels from LSU, or Marvin Harrison. I mean, I've seen some mock drafts where literally Caleb Williams falls to the Patriots, where it's like number 1 is Jaden Daniels, number 2 is Drake May, and then number 3 is Caleb Williams. I'm like, dude, if you give that to the Patriots, even without Bill Belichick, I feel like it's going to come back to bite the entire league. And I don't even believe in Caleb Williams. I think he's not going to be as advertised. I think everyone's saying like, oh man, he's the next Patrick Mahomes. He's this, he's that. No, there's one Patrick Mahomes. He's a dynasty player for a reason. I don't think there's going to be another one of those coming around for a few years. I think Stroud was the closest we've gotten so far.
Caleb, I'm with you to a degree. I don't think he'll be the savior because I said that about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is he was worth the pick, but everybody thought he was just gonna automatically get him like Joe Burrow, as in take him to AFC championships. I didn't think that. I knew he was good though for sure, but I didn't think that. With Caleb Williams, I'm more leaning towards. See, this is the thing. To where I understand what you're saying. To where this is how they mess it up. Into where I already know why you're already saying he's not, because once you say, hey, this kid is every bit of Pat Mahomes. You just see what Pat Mahomes did. There's no way you can call a college kid that. Yep. So in your mind, I already know how you think. It's like he's gonna be a bust because what he have to live up to is he's not gonna get there.
He's gonna be a bust because of where he's drafted. He's drafted number 1. If he was drafted in the second round and ends up being close to Patrick Mahomes, within the stratosphere, man, he's everything but just the Kmart brand of him. That's worth it. Right. But at number 1, you're expecting him to be Patrick Mahomes. It's just like my Panthers. We expected Bryce Young to show up and immediately affect change. He's, to this point, I don't care what any of my Panthers friends say, Bryce Young is a bust to this point. First year, 2,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, that's bust shit. If Caleb Williams comes out and throws 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, that's an L. That's a big L for Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't see it.
I'm trying to think, because Chicago also has the most cap space too. So that's what I say, with us teams, we kind of get jump the gun a little bit, because Christian Wilkins, Brian Burns might leave. Let's see who they get to replace before we just jump off and say they made a mistake. Because a lot of the fans in both our communities, they're just jumping off the bandwagon too quick, I feel like, because our team, even with the Dolphins, our team on paper was way better than the team 2 years ago. But I promise you, the team 2 years ago was better to get to the Super Bowl than last year. I had that feeling from week 7, even when we scored 70. I'm like, this team is not better than the year before. Yeah, we have better pieces, but they're not better than the year before. I just had that feeling, and I'm led behold, we wasn't better than the year before, I feel like, to be honest, because we didn't even compete with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
so,
but that's a lot of teams, though.
Still.
So many teams thought they were coming into this year and just going to change stuff up. But I actually have a question for you, because there's a lot of Dolphins fans that want them to possibly look at trading Tua. Meaning trading your first-round pick plus Tua and then going up there. Going and getting, say, pick 5 or 6 and going and getting J.J. McCarthy from Michigan or Bo Nix or one of these guys.
You know what they want?
What?
They don't want neither one of they don't want neither. You know what they really want? Penix.
Okay, I like Penix a lot. I really do.
I do too. But are we really gonna get rid of Tua for a quarterback that played 6 years in college, first 4 years season end of injuries? Not just like Tua, but I don't get rid of Tua for Penix. I get rid of Tua for Lamar. I get rid of Tua for Pat Mahomes, not for a quarterback we don't even know what's going to be. Like, I'm not saying if we didn't have a quarterback, Penix is my guy. That's not what I'm saying. Penix is just like, he's my guy for sure. But we have Tua. Why would I get rid of Tua that's built? It just don't make any sense. You'll be setting yourself backwards, because now you have to get the camaraderie with Jalen Waddle, with Tyreek Hill. He has to come into the offense. He has to be another captain as soon as he get there. That is not going to happen. So that's the reason why. That's the only reason I say don't draft a quarterback to replace Tua. Now, if you want to draft Penix to say, hey, he's going to push Tua, hell yeah, you need healthy competition. But a first round pick, we have too many holes to say, hey, we want to develop a quarterback to be 3 years better than Tua in 3 years. That makes no sense. We got O-line to D-tackle now, to another corner now, to we probably if we get Jonnu Smith, because I heard Jonnu Smith came and visit us. If we get him,
I just saw that.
We'll probably draft a tight end, but honestly, I feel like we okay. I feel like Smythe is good, to be honest, to how we run our offense. So we don't even care, because that'll be the fourth option.
Okay,
that'll be the fourth option.
I think you guys have something there. I could absolutely see you guys getting Penix. I agree with not a first rounder, going with like a second, or if he falls to the third, hey, throw a third on him and then sit him behind Tua. And if he fleshes out at all, he either has trade value or we send Tua somewhere and we go with him. Like, you got to make that decision at some point, but you'd have him for 4 years at that point, because you wouldn't have the 5th year option.
Yeah, a second round pick. Yeah, third round pick. Like I said, I haven't done too much evaluating, but I definitely like him. Also, like, for development, who was it? Joe Milton.
Oh yeah, dude threw a rocket, 70 yards.
Yeah, I like him. But everybody says, this is the reason I don't trade Tua. Everybody says, hey, 21 other quarterbacks can do what Tua did. Tua is the most accurate quarterback in college history.
Yep.
Second of all, he's been top 3 in accuracy the past 3 years, I think. Only in accuracy the past 3 years. Past 2 years, the touchdowns and the yards have come up. But the accuracy, he's been up there in the past 3 years. This offense that we run, literally, predicates on accuracy. And a lot of people are like, oh, he just throw to a spot. That's the reason why it's accuracy. Anybody can throw to a wide receiver. Can you just throw to this open window right here every time? It's not too many quarterbacks in the league can do that. Even Josh Allen, like I said, we will have to change the whole offense around Josh Allen, and we probably can make the Super Bowl, to be honest. But when people say, oh, anybody can run this offense, like this specific one, I think they just really in over their head.
I agree. I think Tua is perfect for this offense. It's the defense that worries me, to be honest. The loss of Vic Fangio. Obviously, you're losing some pieces on defense. Last year, your team basically fell to pieces. We saw it on Hard Knocks. Like, it was tough, like, to see these guys. Dude, oh my God. Jalen Phillips, when he messed up his ACL, I think it was, and all that. And then Bradley Chubb got hurt. It was just like one after another after another. And once I saw those, I was like, man, the Dolphin season is over. This is it, regardless of what they scored before. And then obviously I think it was the next week we saw the Raiders like absolutely destroy the Chargers. I was like, man, it happens, I guess. The Dolphins just had a game where they just go, hey, Broncos, it's time for you guys to take this L, like right here. It's over. So
yeah, they didn't even want to tackle. They didn't even want to tackle that game. I saw that game. Everybody's like, he's throwing. I'm like, bro, it have 2 people ran for 200 yards. Like, how? What do you want us to do?
I think 2 dudes had 4 touchdowns too. Wasn't it Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert both had 4 touchdowns? I could have swore they did. I think one of them had 3 and 1, and the other one had 4 rushing.
Either if it was that, no, they did have. I think they did have 4, but it was 3 rushing. Raheem Mostert had a passing touchdown. He had a passing catch touchdown. So they had 8 together, but it was just 8 all together, not all runs. But hey, what's the difference?
Yeah, that was. I didn't mean 8 just rushing, but that was just a murderous onslaught. And Tua was the person that orchestrated that. And as long as he stays healthy, I think you guys continue. Obviously, the whole concussion protocol thing that they had previously, that scared me. I was like, hey man, maybe we should start thinking about something. But there's really not a better option, to be honest. I don't really care where you look. The only other one I thought of was Kyler, but I don't even think Kyler is good enough.
Listen, this is why I argue with a lot of people in the community. I'm kind of attached to Tua only because he's a great kid. He works his ass off. If he have a problem with his game, the whole offseason, he does nothing else but works on that problem. Yeah, I promise you, he's a great kid. The only time I'm saying replace Tua, tell me who you're going to replace him with. And then you got me. Like I said, Lamar, Pat Mahomes. If you tell me we getting those guys, get rid of Tua. But a Kirk Cousins, who else? To a draft in the quarter. It's like, I don't see it. I don't see it. And it was one thing you just said that if you go back and look, you'll kind of be distraught about. It wasn't the defense that held us back, even against Kansas City. We held Kansas City to 19 points. Remember, they scored a defensive touchdown. We scored one touchdown too. The offense flamed out at the end. I felt like Mike McDaniels, his play calling kind of messed it up for us. So he ran the ball, but he didn't. Even in that game, we scored 70 points. He throwing the little hitch passes to Devon Achane. Save those for the playoffs. Save those plays for the next game. We don't need that against the Broncos up 56-17 to pull out those type of plays. And I feel like sometimes he get in his own head, and that's when the offense stalls. Because you look at the last 6 games, even the Bills game, the Bills on Josh Allen only scored 21 points. Our defense actually stood up even with everybody hurt. The only thing I can say the defense didn't do, they didn't get no turnovers. So it didn't put the offense in position to get easy points. But nobody wasn't really scoring on us like that, to be honest.
I feel like you guys were getting pressure. It was just like, what's that extra thing? You need that extra little, that forced fumble, that, oh my God, a tip drill or something like you need one thing. And it was just missing that.
And it's 3 people, that's out that has gotten us that 2 years in a row. Phillips, every big game, he get a strip sack. Chubb, every big game, he get a strip sack. Especially the $1 million man, Andrew Benginko. He makes a play every game.
They need to bring him back.
I know. They got to, because
I would have never thought of Van Ginkel was a dude that I was like, man, you need to go make sure you pay this man and make sure you keep him in your building. But man, I'm sold. If he decides to go anywhere and he wants to go to Carolina, I'm happy to come to my Panthers. But hey, if you want to stay in Miami and win, that's going to be a great division for a long time.
And what's sad about it is, he was a free agent last year. He was a free agent last year. Nobody offered him money. He said, I'm just going to stay home to where at least you guys pick me. If I'm going to pick somebody that's offering me less money, I might as well just stay here. I'm kind of happy and kind of mad he got hurt because honestly, all three, because even Jalen Phillips' contract, he's been hurt every year. I think we got him. So now we don't have to pay him so much money. A lot of people don't count this, but this is what I be like, hey, even Jalen Waddle, we ain't got to pay you too much because, you know, you got hurt every year. You missed 4 games every year. So we can come to you and say, take $5 million less, and you have no choice but to be like, I might just do that.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, we're paying Tyreek 20 plus, but this dude's out here almost going to break 2,000 yards. You can play 11 games a year. Like, man, you can't be getting that top tier money because you ain't playing top tier games. Sorry. And I love Jalen Waddle.
What we can do is, see, I just be thinking so far ahead is you can have a sit down talk, an in-house talk. Hey, just give us $5 to $7 million less until Tyreek gone. Once Tyreek leaves, you'll get every money that you deserve and probably a little bit more just because you held out for us.
Yep.
That's the only way I can see, because that's perfect time, because even Tyreek Hill is grooming him to be the next Tyreek Hill. And a lot of people understand Jalen Waddle has a lot of growth in his game. He dropped so many passes. He had 1,100 yards in like 14 games or 13 games, and he dropped 10 passes that would have went for 40 yards. So it's like, he really could have hit 1,500 again. Oh, well, not again, but he could have hit 1,500. He hit 1,350 last year. He could have hit 1,500 this year easily with how Tua was playing. So that's why I'm kind of glad we kind of got a lot of hurt players, but at the same time, it's kind of bad because what if they get hurt in key moments like Phillips and Chubb, which I don't think is going to happen every year. That was like a
49ers year. Like everything just falls to pieces.
Even Ramsey was hurt for half a year. Xavier Howard was hurt for half a year. Javon Holland was hurt for half a year. So
those are some big names.
And they actually still was top 10. That's what a lot of people.
I didn't know that.
All those players missing all through they still was top 10.
Wow.
So it's just, that's why I was like, our defense really was there. Offense kind of flamed out because every game that we had, even the Chiefs game in the middle of the season when we went to Germany, they only scored 21 on us, and they scored 21 points the first half. They didn't score no points the whole second half, and we still lost that game by 7 points. So I feel like just the offense need to go another notch, and the defense need to come down. Just if the offense would have stayed up a notch and the defense could have just stayed at 15 to 18, we probably would have been in the Super Bowl. We didn't need a top 10 defense. We needed a top 3 offense.
What about Tyreek Hill, a first-round pick, and another pick of your choice for Justin Jefferson?
But that's a no-brainer.
No-brainer. I mean, you wouldn't have to pay Waddle as much because you could be like, hey, I'm bringing in Jay Jettas, and I'm going to have to pay him 30, so you're going to have to take a pay cut and do it that way, and then have those ones with Tua. Younger core, closer to his age. You guys could build longer.
I love Jay Jettas. I'm going to just say this. Tyreek a different animal. Okay. He's just a different animal with his team and how this team is built. A lot of people, when we went on that bad run, guess who was the number 1 player that was out? Devon A-Chain. A lot of people didn't take that in consideration to you seen Tyreek Hill going back and forth, motion, but when A-Chain was in, Tyreek Hill stays put. A-Chain goes in motion. Now you have to guard all his speed.
Yep.
With Justin Jefferson, he's fast, but it's just something about Tyreek. Even I feel like last year he was kind of slowed down a notch, and still nobody was nowhere near him.
I agree, but how long is that going to last? Is it worth it to just say, hey, you guys have I think you guys are like 15 or in the 15s this year. Give up that first round pick. You know what? Screw it. You guys are going to be really good next year. Give up that one too. And then reek for Jay Jettas. Like, yes, the salary's more, but if the high end is there and Jay Jettas stays as wide receiver 1, essentially, keep him for a year or two and then get rid of his ass. You could probably still go and get more first round picks. Yeah, I mean, he's only 24, so worst case in 2 years, he's 26, going on 27 as a wide receiver. Like, he's going to be around for a while.
I would definitely take Jay Jettas. It's just, the element what Tyreek brings to our team to where like you can see
I
like
agree.
he's a
Okay.
Jay Jetter's a dog. I'm not saying Jay Jetter. I don't want to say Jay
Okay.
Jetter's not a dog because that'd be disrespecting my
No,
guy.
but it doesn't
But
fit. It
you can
doesn't fit what
just
Mike McDaniel and Tua do well, which is speed, motion, and all that other stuff. So, okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
right. I definitely like. Come on, that's Jay Jetter's. Like, come on, man. And he's 6 years younger. Like, that's a no brainer. That's clearly a no brainer. It's just that Tyreek element to like I said to how he embodies to it. Like, I don't even think Jay Jetter's would have instilled the confidence into what Tyreek Hill did. How he came in and he's our number one guy. He's
Yeah.
more accurate than Pat Mahomes. Everything Tyreek says coming to fruition. Tyreek almost buzzed down 2,000 saying it when nobody said this man is talking crazy. Oh yeah,
Oh,
he
I
ain't
was
gonna
one
do
of them.
2,000. He's
I
talking crazy.
I doubted that man hardcore, but it took an injury to stop him from getting 2,000 yards. Like, he was there.
He missed a game and a half. And literally he was right there. So as I said, I don't just the element that he brings to the off the field to a lot of people be, he came and took the money, but he's a captain of this team. He can never be a captain of this team with Pat Mahomes. No matter how good Tua gets, he'll never be Pat Mahomes. So
I agree.
it's always in his shadow to where, like, when it comes to Tua playing with Tyreek, if they was to win the Super Bowl, you know what they're gonna say? It was Tua and Tyreek. They're never gonna say that when it comes to the Chiefs when Tyreek was there. It's either
You're
Pat
right.
Mahomes and that's it. Yeah, we got Kelsey and Tyreek, but it's Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yep. Yeah. It's going to be shared credit no matter what. Even if Tua was to throw 5 touchdowns in a Super Bowl, it's going to be, but Tyreek Hill was the receiver of 3 of them or 2 of them.
3 of them, exactly. He had to be. If he threw 5, he had to get 3.
Yeah. So they're going to end up giving Super Bowl MVP to Tyreek for 3 touchdowns and 220 yards in a Super Bowl, but ignore the 5 touchdown and just be like, "You did good, guy." Like,
yeah, Pat Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns. Well, he's the GOAT.
Dude, when he went through that Super Bowl against Brady, where he threw it sideways, I was like, "Oh my god, that was one of the craziest things."
This is how crazy that play is. After that play, they put that in Madden football game. Like, that's in the game now to where you can sidearm throw after that Super Bowl. I'm like, I would say I don't even want to talk because it's just no reason to talk about it. Everybody say, he is no way he can even tie Tom Brady's shoes just yet. But I'm like, if you really want to say it, Tom Brady's first 3 Super Bowls wasn't even Tom. Every Super Bowl that they win is because of Pat Mahomes. Everyone.
Yep.
So that's the only thing I say. Tom is the GOAT. It's sad that it only took 2 or 3 years after him leaving that we got another GOAT. But I tell everybody, even with LeBron, yeah, he's the GOAT. Everybody, even with MJ and that certain players, they say it's never going to be another player that comes. It's never going to be.
There's always somebody else.
It will be. It's always somebody that comes after. It's always. We just be so enamored and stuck in one little thing to where, and we don't even enjoy the success. Even to LeBron, like, people don't even just sit back and just in awe, just like, he's not going to play one of these years, and you're going to be like, where's LeBron? So it's the same thing with Tom. It's going to be the same thing with Pat. So I just don't get it. But, some people just don't want to give in. Some people stuck in their ways of what they see for a long time to, like, say, even the MJ talk to her. MJ is going to fade away from 5 years because no kid has ever seen MJ play. So in 5 years, nobody's going to say MJ.
Well, it's not even the crazy thing. Like, basketball, it's much harder to win a championship. So the 6 championships is crazy. Okay. But I tried to put it in perspective for my wife. Yeah, for that. But then you go to, like, LeBron, 40,000 points. I'm like, okay, it's not the fact that it's a lot of points. It's a fact that it's going to take you 20 years to get there, even if you're the best player in the league. Like, you're going to have to score at a high level every year of your career for 20 years to sniff 40,000 points. So this is going to be something that's going to stick for a while. Even if we end up at a point in basketball where they're getting 10 or 15 or even 20 more possessions a game, it's still not going to be that normal for somebody to hit 40,000 points. So that's going to be a feat that stays for a long time. Whereas I think Patrick Mahomes is about to go through what Brady went through. Brady won those first few, and then he went through like a 10-year lull.
Yeah, slump. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's where Patrick Mahomes is coming. This is Travis Kelce's last year. Chris Jones is going to have to get paid a ton of money. They just lost Brant Tillis to my Carolina Panthers, who is the big money guy for the Chiefs. So the money's going to be a little different.
Lost Snead.
Yep, you're going to lose Snead. There's going to be a lot of turnover over the next year or two. Yes, if they win this next year, they'll solidify themselves as one of the best teams ever. A three-peat, it would be crazy. I would be super happy for them. It would cement a great legacy, especially a start to the legacy. But there's going to be a dropout at some point. I'm not really sure what it is, but this is not the Patriots dynasty. The Patriots dynasty was built on defense, and right now with oh Jesus, what's his last name? Spagnuolo, the DC over there.
KC.
Yeah, he's able to keep it together, but he's eventually going to start losing these pieces. Again, Snead, Chris Jones, possibly. And again, if they decide to pay Chris Jones, and they're going to have to not pay somebody else. And this is the first year of Patrick Mahomes' big thing. I think this is the first year he's making like $50 million or something stupid like that. So that's another huge part of the cap.
Oh, the cap is coming. So he finally caught up to him because he took the 10-year deal. So it's fine. Okay. He finally caught. I wondered when it was going to catch up.
Yeah. So this is, I think this is the first year where it's like some stupid cap number. So obviously they're going to renegotiate at some point, maybe put some of it into a signing bonus or something like that. They'll do some maneuvering, but now they've lost, again, the money guy. I think the one thing that the Chiefs are going to look back on is losing Brant Tillis. He was the one that behind the scenes, everyone was like, he's the one keeping this team together. And now for him to be, again, luckily with my Carolina Panthers, I think that we are going to see the start of something. And again, I just don't think that you can do it 3 times in a row. I think that's just going to be held as one of the barriers, as one of the hardest things to do in football, period.
Especially if he do it 3 years in a row with the team that he has, like, it's no way anybody because it's two questions I want. It's one question I really want to ask you, but I want to touch on that LeBron situation. One thing. What's so funny about LeBron scored 40 points, he had to play 20 years. Since LeBron came into the league, since 5 years ago, since last year, LeBron has never been known for a scorer. He's not even a scorer for real. So for you to say, it's only 40,000 and he played 20 years, he's not known for scoring. So if he hits 20,000 assists, that's cool. But 40,000 points, you got people like Kevin Durant, Steph, you got people that James Harden, they're never going to reach that. Never, ever. And you talk about bona fide killers when you come to scoring. And LeBron, I'm going to say he's a killer, but he's not a bona fide offensive killer. But he's definitely still a killer in my mind. I agree. One of the greatest to ever play. So, but I just wanted to say that because it's like he's not even known for scoring, and he has the most points ever.
Yeah, and it's not. I think it's the longevity thing that obviously got him there, but I think it's more of like he secretly puts up 25, 27, 28. Whereas you'll see Devin Booker drop like 70, 80 in a game, and then the next game he'll drop 11. Like LeBron doesn't have an 11 in game, and if he does, it's a I got hurt game or something like that.
I'm tired. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like 27, 7, and 7 is like his career average or whatever the hell it is. Like that is a ridiculous career in itself. I don't care what Michael did at that time. He wasn't the distributor, the rebounder, the teammate, everything that LeBron was or is. And not just that, but if I was to take Michael Jordan and put him right now and put him on a private jet to Atlantic City, drinking and gambling all night, cameras are going to be all over him. It's going to be all over social media. He's going to get dragged. It's just not the way to do it. It got passed in the 90s or 80s, 90s, 2000s. Social media is not going to allow that to happen anymore. I don't think we're ever going to see like a crazy, like, man, I'm out at the strip club every night and we're going balls out every night. That's over.
A lot of people don't understand. He literally got lucky because he was the face of the NBA and the NBA didn't want to dirty their face. He got suspended for 2 years. Just really say what it is. He got suspended for 2 years for the gambling and his dad getting killed because of the gambling on him. So they really swept it under the rug and he went to go play baseball and all this other stuff. But in reality, they really said, hey, just take a break, let all this blow over and come back. And then he came back. He took a lot of people understand. If you gave LeBron 2 years in his prime to take 2 years off and not play no physical sport like baseball, he would be playing till he's 49.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing the 40 right now and he's still balling. So just think about that. So I don't get it, but hey, to each his own, like I said.
Not just that, but most people, if they do make it to their 20th year, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Vince Carter, these guys, they're not hitting 20 points plus a game. They're not averaging 7+ assists or 7 rebounds. They're doing the bare minimum. I remember Vince Carter at the end. It's just a few points, maybe an assist or two, maybe a few rebounds, and that's it. That's a good night. If he comes out and drops 15, I'm happy. If LeBron comes out and drops 15, what the hell, LeBron?
And that's at 40. This is what I mean.
At 40.
Even with Skip Bayless, I love Skip Bayless. Like I said, a lot of people call him racist. I used to stick up for Skip Bayless. Yeah, he has his own way of thinking, for sure. He definitely has his own way, but I used to stick up for him all the time. But I just don't get it. What does he don't like about LeBron? He literally, if you've seen his post, he said, hey, it's only a longevity achievement, this and that. Michael Jordan did this in less games, but if you really look at it, LeBron did it in 1,500 less games than Kareem.
Yep.
So he never want to give LeBron his whole credit. I just be like, what is it? Just give in.
So
give in.
Skip is there for the reaction. We see a lot of people now on Twitter doing the engagement farming. I see them posted all the time where they'll just be like, Barry Sanders isn't a Hall of Famer. It's like you're saying that because you want people to say something against you. You want the ratings. You want people to react. And that's all Skip Bayless is. Once he left Skip and Shannon went to go do his own thing, I was so much happier for it. I haven't really watched Skip as much because it's all like his boys now, basically. They're all Cowboys legends. Like they're all just kind of rooting, basically a big circle jerk for Skip. And I just think it's stupid. I don't understand why they just keep platforming Skip when there's so many better people out there. Like, and not just that, but people, I think we're slowly finally getting to the point where most of the people that are going to be talking about sports are going to be former players, former coaches, former scouts, GMs, and the whole nine, because they're going to have a different side of it, completely separate.
You know what makes Skip who he is? Who? His work ethic is unmatched.
Really?
His work ethic. His first wife literally divorced him because of this. Like, he's been married twice. A lot of people don't know his story, but he's been married and divorced. His first wife left him because how much he's deep into this game. Like, that's why every sport, he's literally his whole life. He didn't have no kids. He told anybody he got with, they separated because he always in work, and his first wife wanted kids. When he said, I can't have kids, there's no way I can do what I do and have kids. He wakes up at 4 a.m, goes on a 5-mile run at 75 years old, then go record. And I'm like, yo, this man is this old. He's unmatched. Like, this is what I know.
doing that at 33, man.
That's what I'm saying. He's really a different breed, and he's been doing this for, if he's 75, 80, he's been doing it since he was 20.
Yeah.
That's why it's more to why how Skip moved, how he moved to what he pioneered. He pioneered this first and 10, all this what everybody's doing right now. He started this. Nobody was doing the shows with everybody on and the hosts, and he pioneered it. So that's what making him have his run. And also,
once he got Shannon, it was like, oh, his run is gonna go crazy, because whenever he left First Take, we knew Stephen A was gonna take over, black guy and all this. But once he got Shannon, I'm okay, good. You know what I'm saying? He got somebody that's gonna fuel him, because if you go back and look at First Take, Undisputed was way better than First Take. A lot of people don't understand. It had nothing to do with Shannon and how he make jokes. It was more a fact that Steven and Skip used to be aligned at so many things, to even Michael Jordan. They always used to agree. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something Skip say so outrageous for Skip to be like, all right, now you're tripping. But in reality, they always was like cohesive. They was always coinciding with each other. Once he got with Shannon ain't agree with nothing he said. Never. He was like, I don't care what you talking about. I'm not agreeing with you. I don't care if you a pioneer. I don't care. I'm not agreeing. You ain't tutor me like how you tutor Stephen A. I really was already in this game because I started on NFL Countdown. I already knew how to do this. Now I'm coming to a different field per se, but I'm always was a camera guy. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A wasn't a camera guy. Skip introduced Stephen A to that. Stephen A was just a reporter writing in the newspapers and stuff. He never was like how he is right now. Skip Bayless introduced him to that lifestyle. So that's why Stephen A. Smith has way more respect and wrote it out way longer than probably anybody else would have. So
we were talking about Skip and Shannon. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you were talking about it. Shannon does come from a different field. He came from the literal field. So I also didn't know that stuff about Skip, to be honest with you. I didn't know the work ethic or anything like that. I just kind of see, like a lot of people do, I see the persona. I see the character of himself, of what I assume. Because I'm assuming he's not going home and being like, oh man, I love Dak so much. I just need, Cowboys everything. Like, he's got to realize that Dak is not like the guy. So I understand that he's got a little bit of humanity in there. But man, that character gets tough sometimes. Oh, especially with some of the stuff he said sideways to Shannon when he was like trying to tell him like, oh, you shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame kind of thing. Like, what did you do? It's like, man, yeah, Shannon Sharp's got some credentials. I don't care what anybody says.
One thing about Skip, this is what I'm going to say. This is why I understood Shannon, and he did come sideways. But one thing we know about Skip, if you're Skip's guy, he's going to ride with you until nothing is left. So when it was going against Tom Brady versus Shannon, it was a lose-lose because he's not going to let up on him. He's not. Just the same thing with Joe, and that's why I say everything else, yes, he definitely want to go with the algorithm. He wants somebody to bark back at him. But with that Jordan thing, nah, he wears Jordans to work every day. That's in his veins. Like, it's just when he's down for you, he's down for you. But his crazy little story, Skip still didn't feel like he did nothing wrong. Skip be set in his ways. His wife, because Shannon knows Skip's wife. Everybody knows because
Ernestine,
how hard he works. Literally, you have no choice but to know his wife. So, and a dog, their dog too. So his wife named Ernestine made him apologize to Shannon Sharp. Made him. That's the only reason why they lasted until they lasted, because Shannon wasn't feeling it at all no more. He wasn't even gonna show up no more, like at all. So, but I say with Skip, you just got to really go into depth, even to with a racist thing. A lot of people understand he was raised by a black woman.
I didn't know that either.
His parents,
I know they're from Oklahoma. He's from Oklahoma and all that other stuff.
Right. His parents he don't even like his parents at all. His parents they was always the parents at work, like always at work, never took care of the kids, like as in like physically. They always had the money, of course, because the person that was taking care of him, which was the black woman, was the housekeeper, was the nanny.
Really?
So that's who had Skip all the time, because the parents was never home. So when you hear Skip saying certain phrases and stuff, it's not he's getting it from somebody else. He literally learned it from an older black woman.
Wow.
So that's why I say Skip is he's just tough. Like I said, his life really made him who he is. That's why I say you just gotta read in between. You really gotta get to know him, and you will understand where he come from. But he still gets sideways. That's what Skip is gonna do. I think that's just.
He definitely says some stuff where you're like, bro, come on. Like if you said that to him on the street, he might have something to say about it.
But the thing is with Skip, he doesn't. I don't want to say he don't take it personal, but he don't think you would take it personal, because he literally think it as in you just talking sport. He literally thinks soon as that camera was off, Shannon was supposed to say, "Hey, good show." What? No. Yeah,
like you said some shit, dude.
Yeah, so that's why I say. But we also got to remember, my grandmother is his age. Once you get that age, you're definitely stuck in your ways. You're not changing for nobody. You're not gonna think of this is who you've been for past 40 years. So that's why I say you just got to take it or leave it with them. You either gonna deal with it or you not. So, but yeah, enough of Skip. But that is my guy, though. I think he get a lot of wrong flock for a lot of other stuff, but he definitely should get flock about some stuff that he does say. But he gets a lot of unnecessary stuff a lot of people don't know. It's like I said, not Skip. Nah, he ain't talking like that. It's just that's who he is. So.
Shannon's not even my favorite broadcaster. Mine would probably be up there with like Nick Wright's up there. I like everybody over it. You know who I like.
You know who I like over Nick Wright? It's crazy. I
like Kevin Wildes too. Kevin Wildes and Broussard. What's up?
I got a phone call.
Oh, no, you good.
What's his name? Yeah, Wiles. I like Wiles because, once again, Nick is very biased. I hate bias.
Chiefs all the way.
That's a strong word, but it's just sometimes it just be like you're overdoing it. And I feel like sometimes Nick be overdoing it.
Oh, hell yeah. If it's about the Chiefs, it's 100% biased. Don't even listen to a single word unless you're a Chiefs fan.
And it's so crazy because he probably the only reason why I want the Chiefs to win. I don't care about the Chiefs winning.
I agree with you. I really just wanted to see him happy.
Can't get him no more ammo. You can't. He started the on first thing first. He started the Mahomes Mountain. Like, come on, it's just that's what I say. But I like him. I definitely like him. He definitely gives some good takes for sure. Sure. I just feel like sometimes he's a homer. That's all I'm saying. I can't be too mad because I'll probably be on TV a homer too, a little homer in me too for sure. Ain't no.
That's okay. You got to defend Miami too. He's going to defend OKC and all them, which I don't understand. He's a Lakers fan, but yet he's a Kansas City fan. I'm like, bro, you should be an OKC fan. Like, they're all there, but I guess OKC didn't exist when he was a fan, so it makes sense that he would have to pick a team. But the Lakers, come on. I know he's a LeBron guy, but still.
No, he's only a Lakers fan because of LeBron.
Oh,
he's not really a Lakers fan. He just follows LeBron's everywhere he go.
I was about to say, I remember him talking about having Brooklyn Nets floor seats or season tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, how you like them?
He really just a Bron guy. He's that's why I said to where now, how you see like the last era of the Stephen A. Smith, the Skip Bayless with the Jordan and all this stuff. Remember, the new wave is going to be the Nick Wrights and younger than him. All of them are saying LeBron.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and I think that's just a bias because before Jordan, everyone said it was Kareem or Bill Russell. And then everyone's like, oh, Jordan can never get there. And then he got 6 rings. And now everyone's like, oh, Jordan and nobody else.
Like I said, with Jordan's good. I just try to put it in perspective. If Jordan was on that Cavs team that LeBron took to the finals, he would have never got to the finals. And a lot of people are like, yeah, he would have. So why didn't he do it before then? He had his own team. Before Scottie got there, he never made it out the first round.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
Not the finals, the first round.
Yeah, and that goes to the debate with LeBron. Is it better to get to the titles and lose or not get to the title? Or at all? It's
but he on 10, right? Or 9?
He made it to 9 straight. And then
9 straight, right?
Yeah, 9 straight. I remember that at one point. I mean, obviously it's not 10 straight, but he's really good. If you had to build an all-time team, it doesn't matter who it is. LeBron has to be a part of that team. I don't think you can build that team. He can literally play 1 through 5, defend 1 through 5 for the most part. Of course, if he's going against Prime Shaq, we have a different conversation there.
Come on, ain't nobody. He was the most dominant force. Like Kobe, all this. Once again, RIP Kobe. I hate talking about Kobe like this because they always go overboard with this Kobe just because my dog passed away. Listen. Shaq was the most dominant force. If you put Tracy McGrady on them teams, Allen Iverson on them teams, any shooting guard that was coming in, they was winning. They were winning.
I think Kobe was the special sauce, though. I agree, though. I think if Shaq really cared about basketball first and cared about his body, Shaq has 8 titles. Like Shaq has 10 MVPs. He has multiple scoring titles. He's, most rebounds in a season probably 15 times. Like, he would have just absolutely demolished the center position for everybody moving forwards. The only thing he wasn't really the greatest thing at was passing, but now Jokic is the all-around perfect center, essentially now.
Hey, man, let's not even talk about my guy Jokic, man. I hate that we had to, like I said, when that finals, I really hate we had to play Denver because it was like, I know one of us got to win, and it's like Denver never won. I wanted Miami to win, but I wasn't even mad about Denver winning. Like, to be honest, Jokic, I really didn't feel no type of way, and I really wanted Jimmy to get one. Yep. But I feel like Miami always going to be a contender. I don't feel like Denver is always, like, the next 5 years going to be a contender. Jokic is always going to be Jokic, for sure. But contender to go to the conference finals every year, I don't think. But I know Miami going to build. They're going to build. So,
I agree. I think the NBA is finally seeing a change, though. Like, we've seen Luka, we've seen Jokic, we've seen all these guys come over internationally, Giannis, Embiid, all this other stuff. Even though Embiid plays for Team USA somehow. But we're seeing all these international stars, and we're not seeing as many American-born stars. Like the American-born ones, like you'll get a Jason Tatum and stuff like that. But to be honest, Luka and Jokic make Jason Tatum look like a high school senior.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, where it matters. So I think and then now we got Wembanyama, and we got so many more coming internationally that I think it's eventually going to get to the point where it's like when we finally have a really good American player again, we're going to be like, oh my God, we finally did it. And then, he's going to have to compete with every other country for the best ever. So I think it's slowly going to change, and we're slowly going to see these teams of no longer Jimmy Butlers and Kyrie Irvings and more international sounding names and everything like that. I think that's just a natural progression. And that's why I think eventually this whole NIL thing with college football and all that is going to affect college basketball. And I think we're eventually just going to get a straight up G League, like full 32 team league that plays a full year, that we basically eliminate college basketball as well and just go directly from high school into a developmental league like they do overseas. Or if not, have them playing professionally as 16-year-olds.
They have you can do that now, but you can't. It's not a whole league thing. Scoot Anderson was one of the first ones. Yeah. You can choose now to either go to college for 1 year or go to the G League for 1 year. But you're right, it's not per se like all rookies. I know what you're saying. You're basically saying everybody's a first-year player. All 32 teams got nothing but rookies instead of – yes, but they don't do it because I don't think – it probably won't be enough players because that'll be
I don't know. All they'd have to do is basically take all of the regular teams, like my Charlotte Hornets, and then they would be like, "Hey, man, we now have a Charlotte Hornets G League team. We have the Greensboro Swarm, except that Greensboro Swarm is going to play 60 games instead of the 82 regular NBA, and instead of you going to college, you're going to go to the G League. And I think that it's going to be very much sooner that we're going to see like club teams. Like we're going to finally start seeing the 18-year-old guys not even making it to the G League, but going to like a developmental league instead of going to their senior year of high school or something like that, like they do abroad. Again, Luka was playing professional basketball at 16, whereas our guys won't even touch it till they're at 2021 at the earliest. So, I mean, he's got 5-6 years on him of playing with real adults in real basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just don't see it. I hate to say that because, again, Team America all the way, but I just don't.
Yeah, it's starting to look. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's starting to look crazy. We're getting more and more players that's coming from overseas that's actually good. Like,
and not just that, but like think of the good American players that we have right now, like Trae Young. Everybody thought, oh, he's the next Steph Curry. He's not. So there's another American out. Like my Hornets have LaMelo, who's been good, not great. But now Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller, he's been great.
He's been. I just watched his highlights at All-Star break. I was looking at myself and looking at the TV like I didn't know he was doing this. Like I knew who he was coming out of college, all the stuff coming in. Yep. I knew he can play. I just didn't watch him this year. So when I watched that, I said, yeah, he might be a problem if he keep working at his craft.
I agree.
He might be a little problem.
I agree. But my Hornets' problem is rebounding the ball. So, he's great at shooting, great at dunking, great at making people look like fools. But if we can't rebound the ball, we're going to lose every game.
Yeah, y'all have... I feel like y'all a couple of pieces away. Like Melo he's above average point guard because he's a real true point guard to me. He scores and he would dish out 15 assists before he take 20 shots. Hell yeah, he'll take 20 shots for sure. He would, but he would definitely look out to pass the ball first before taking 20 shots. Now, if y'all behind not shooting or if y'all not scoring, he finna go ahead and chuck, which I don't blame him, because somebody got to score. So that's why Brandon Miller was a great pickup because he's a scorer. Mm-hmm. But just a couple of pieces like a big man. Yep. If you just go get we were just talking about something like this. You go get a Dwight Howard. Not now. I'm talking about a Dwight Howard to where all he does is rebound and he's gonna put it back up. If you miss a shot, he get the board and put it back up. If you get that guy in Charlotte, it's gonna be tough.
See, that's my thing is like if I was going to rebuild my Hornets, I would go a huge center, biggest guy I could basically get. I don't really care who it is, a Thon Maker, a Bol. I need somebody out there that's just going to contend and everything like that. And then I want a huge power forward and I want a huge small forward. I want the length in those three positions. So this way, LaMelo, I know he's like 6'6", but this way, if Brandon Miller, because I think he's only like 6'4", we have a pretty solid team overall. We could rebound for the most part.
Right.
but I need somebody a little bit thicker than Bol because he can't survive in the league.
Yeah, 82 games. Then in the playoffs, once you get down to that nitty and gritty, elbows and grease, you know.
Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately, Joel Embiid on the other side, being super thick and strong and everything like that, can't survive the season either. So
I wouldn't even, like, at this point, I don't know why they don't pull a Jimmy. He's good enough. Like, you already won an MVP. That's all you. I understood why you played the year when you won MVP. I understood why you played a lot of games, because you can't win MVP if you play less than 67 games or 65 games. I understood. Yeah. But at this point, you got the MVP. Nothing matters but a ring.
Yep.
I don't want to play 82 games, coach. Put me in for 52 like Jimmy, or 56. Give me nights off, or not nights off, but just do something. But because in the playoffs, even while hurt, Joel Embiid balls. While hurt, every year the past 3 years he been hurt, he still put up buckets.
Oh yeah, he does. So but he's a liability. Like, he needs the ball to do well. Like, yes. He gets some off the board and everything like that, and just gets some easy putbacks. But he is a pretty semi-ball dominant center, and he wants to take some shots off dribble and everything like that.
He be getting caught up in that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, don't try and shoot the ball. You're bigger than everybody else. Just dunk it. Just be like Shaq. Be better than everybody else by just being bigger than everybody else. But he's just not going to win there. He's not going to win with the Sixers.
Was it him, or was it another center? I think it was him. I don't want to lie to you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. But he was it wasn't him. But I think he was kind of like a point guard, 2 guard, and then he had a growth spurt. Am I thinking about the right person? That's why he dribbled like that?
Embiid?
No,
I'm not sure.
That's not Embiid. That's not Embiid. That's somebody else. Cat? I think it's Cat.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Cat. Because Embiid, I'm starting to think now, Embiid didn't play basketball till he was 18 or 17 or something like that. Yeah, it was Cat.
I was thinking maybe you might have been thinking Ben Simmons, but no, Ben Simmons was apparently good at basketball at one point.
Man, listen, I got some basketball. I don't want to say crazier than football and drafts, but it's just crazy how a Jimmy Butler can be better than Ben Simmons. I can never fathom that. Like, I can always fathom a 6th-round quarterback being better than a 1st-rounder. I don't know how, but
yeah,
I can't fathom that in basketball, how you let a Jimmy Butler be better than you. Like,
in basketball, it's the Kobe thing. Like, Kobe would say, like, yeah, man, I would go to, we would get a guy in, and he would come out of the draft, and I would just take him one-on-one. And after 15 minutes, I knew that he's not going to make it. They messed up. It's like, if you know that immediately, all of your guys should be out there, and your workout should be like, go play our best player one-on-one. And if you can hold a candle to him, you might have a chance. But the problem is then you get guys like Steph, or I was about to say Steph Curry. Good Lord. He needed a little bit of time to develop, but that shot's deadly.
Basketball and football is the same to this. It's all about who you go to. And what I mean by that,
I agree. 100%.
Seth would have came to the Heat. You know what they would have told Seth? Stand in the corner, stand right down on the wing, and shoot number 3s. We don't need you dribbling. We don't need you going to the rim. We got all those. We don't need you to shoot 3s. But what some teams do is they try to make a player evolve too early, because you remember they have to get acclimated to the NBA game itself. So even with, I'm going to use another Heat player because it just comes to mind. With Bam didn't have to be who he is now, because we already had guys solidified in that role. So we could have waited 4 years for Bam to be offensively good. We just needed him to rebound, high flyer, and play defense. And look how much he excelled in that. He excelled in that off the bench so much, we got rid of Whiteside, his second or third, Whiteside, Bam second or third year, and then we let Bam be who he want to be. I feel like a lot of teams force and thrust players to be more than what they really are, or to carry a team out the gate. Ain't too many players can carry a team out the gate. LeBron is probably one. It's not too many teams just coming in and just flood the gates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even Giannis.
You got your anomalies, Ja Morant. You got your players, but that's like 1 or 2 every 2 years. It's never like every year is just one player.
To be honest, though, Ja didn't really change life in Memphis. They're still a franchise. To be honest, their best year was his first year, his rookie year, and then they made a playoff run, and then they gutted the team, and now they're good.
The reason why, but I'm gonna tell you the reason why though. Not because he played, man, because they actually played. They made it. They did their thing. They went to Game 7s with Golden State. But we also got to put in a vacuum. That little 5-year run when Ja came into the league, the West was crazy. Clippers. Everybody was loaded. So for him to even get that far and put the team on his back, he actually did crazy because look at who his teammates was. Bang. Like, who are these guys? He made everybody around him. He made everybody around him play to another level. That's the only reason I say Ja, because he wasn't gonna beat Steph. He wasn't beating LeBron and AD. What, 4 years ago? Hell, he wasn't gonna beat them guys. So that's why I say. But the thing is, why I'm kind of mad. This year was the year to where they could have did something because the year is so spread out to where, like, you got the Timberwolves number 1 and OKC number 1. If Ja was not hurt this year with the team they got, with Marcus Smart too, they would have been the top 4 team too, because the Lakers is not good.
No, they're so bad.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like this year is so crazy that they got bad luck, but that's karma for Ja Morant. Want to act like a goddamn hoodlum. That's your fault. You know what I'm saying? Karma came right to back, bite you in the behind. Now you can't play. You know what I'm saying? You can't even play for the whole year. Like, so
that's a bad one, bro. And the fact that OKC, I like what they've done. They still have like 13 first-round picks over the next 2 or 3 years. They're building the right way. I said the crazy one way back in July when we talked, and I said, man, it'd be crazy. Just give up like 5 of those first-round picks to the Lakers, go get LeBron, and let LeBron lead Chet Holmgren and this young crew, let him distribute the ball and let them take all the shots, and just let him just kind of take what he wants at his senior age, because somebody's going to end up with Bronny, and he's probably going to end up on that team. So why not?
What I would have did? You know what I would have did?
What?
They probably wouldn't have did it though. I'm gonna tell you, you know what I would do? I would like, hey, I got AD and about 2 first rounders. No, because I'm trying to think. It's the opposite. I'm trying to think who can I get them over there to get them over the hump.
With 13 first-round picks, Chet, and all those pieces, you could go.
I know that's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what big, because honestly, I feel like that's all they missing. And they don't have to give up. They don't even have to give up Chet. They can give up a Giddey with 3 first-round picks, because Giddey is not as good as Chet in the long run, but Giddey has definitely showed you enough to be like, he should be worth a first-round pick himself, because if he go to another team like, say, the Wizards, and it's like his team, he'll do way better than what he's doing at OKC. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's only playing behind Shea.
Then Giddey.
They need a big. I want him to get a big. I'm trying to think.
Go get Joel. He's not going to win a title for the Sixers. Go give him a bunch of stuff and let them build into the future. He's already older. It's going to have to go now. Let him be the main guy, and then, you know, if you really need to sub in a center, you let Chet play center while he's out.
Who is the Thunder center? Because he got to go over there with them. He got to go over there with that trade, because they don't have no center when Joel Embiid. So he have to go over there. He got to go over there. Is it
still Steven Adams? No, it is Chet. No. Chet's playing center. They're playing Shea, Giddey, Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren.
Man, that's a small, big lineup, because Dort's smaller than Shea.
Yep.
But he's played the 2.
They also have Gordon Hayward now. Aaron Wiggins, Mike Muscala, Biyombo. So they've got some guys on there, but yeah, they're missing a real center. Put Chet at a power forward, play
power forward, yes.
Yeah, and then do it that way. But
ain't no bigs that's really been dominant lately though.
And then if you really, to be honest, if you want another shooter because you'll lose Giddey, go trade the Warriors for Klay Thompson. Go give him a second-round pick. I bet you can go get Klay Thompson.
They could have got Rudy Gobert.
I don't think Rudy's worth it. Period.
But no, you could have got Rudy for the cheap. Well, they couldn't, because I think they paid 2 first rounders for him.
They paid 5.
Timberwolves.
Minnesota paid 5. 5 first round.
I ain't gonna lie, to a degree, I saw where they was going.
Yeah, they're going big.
My dog Cat came back and say, nah, it ain't happening like that. Cat came back scoring 40 points. I said, oh yeah, Cat ain't trying to lose his job. Because there's no way you would think Rudy Gobert not even like that. Like,
nope. I've never seen
he's
him
not like
that.
that to say I'm gonna pair him with Cat and that it's the big duo. Like what? No, you don't do not Rudy Gobert. But in OKC, all Rudy Gobert got to do exactly what he did in Utah. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but the difference is like Anthony Edwards is great with the Timberwolves, but they need something else. Like they need one more. That's why it's really weird that the Warriors have held on to Klay Thompson this long. Because I feel like the minute he goes someplace else, he's gonna pop. And I don't mean pop for a long time. He's just gonna pop on that team for a year or two before he retires.
He's gonna watch this. He's gonna whatever team he's gonna go to, he's gonna be contributing to goddamn playoff wins. That's what you're saying. It's gonna be games where it's be like, he could have been doing this for the Warriors still. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. He's not gonna go crazy, but he's still gonna be like, man, why did we shouldn't have did that. They should have let Draymond go.
A lot of people follow LeBron wherever he goes. If he decides to leave LA and he decides to go play with Bronny, that's great. If he decides to retire, great. But watch people go follow LeBron because they know that this is going to be either the last year or the second to last year, and they're going to want to ride on the coattails. It might be an old Draymond on that team, an old Clay. A lot of these older guys that are just like, hey, man, I only need you to come in here and play 15, 20 minutes because I got some younger guys to really carry the load. But we just need some senior people in the locker room to kind of help us along. I think that's going to be, where it is and where it progresses. I just don't know where that place is. Because right now, Bronny doesn't look great, to be honest. He doesn't look like LeBron.
But I'm waiting on the baby boy anyway. Bryce is the one.
I think so too, because it's
not
like
LeBron
6'10",
but he's gonna be like, okay, already. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, same thing with Cayenne Anthony, Carmelo Anthony's son. He's supposed to be the next great thing too.
I think he's more along the lines, but because he did just score 50, I think, in the game. He just scored 50. But Wade's son was scoring 50. Bronny was scoring 50 in high school, 240 before he went to Sierra Canyon. So I need to see him against other competition, as in I need to see you against top dog. I don't care about high school. I need to see you play against the big dogs. And when I say the big dogs, the top. Because nowadays you don't see like how we saw in 03 before they got drafted, LeBron play Carmelo. You don't see a head-to-head like, hey, these top two dudes gonna play this week. You don't see that no more. You may see the top two dudes on TV, as in they play for separate teams. They're not playing each other, but you don't see Melo and LeBron going against each other. I don't see that no more. That's what I want to get back to. That's when you find out who really the players and who really not the players. Because once I seen Melo going against LeBron and they was already talking about LeBron like that, I feel like Melo didn't even have to go play at Syracuse for 1 year. I feel like he was in the same boat.
I agree with you. I love Melo.
Yeah, he could have just went straight there.
Yeah,
he could have just went straight there. Offensively,
Melo is one of those players that I feel like no matter where he went, I love that he went to Denver. I love that he was a Knick forever. I didn't like at the end where he was kind of bouncing around wherever. But man, his legacy.
But you know why he had to get a ring. That's the only thing that he's really chasing. Like everybody know he's a bona fide scorer. Everybody know he don't play defense. Everything is out on Melo. The only thing that was needed to be there was that ring. That's it. That's it. That's why I just even with the Gary Paytons and they say, oh, Karl Malone. I say, man, listen, you play your whole career to get a ring. I'm not gonna get mad at a dude trying to go get a ring his last couple of years when he gave it his all the first 15.
I agree.
It's like, hey, go ahead.
That's why I'm very curious to see how many people start ring chasing like a whole lot more actively. Like I'm waiting for the time where NBA players smarten up and go, I don't care about a max contract. Give me 2 years, the maximum amount you can give me, and in 2 years I'm going to dip in it again. Except this time the cap's going to be higher, so I can take more. And just keep re-dipping. That's
the LeBron strategy to 1 and 2 year deals, and that's how he keep winning. He goes up with the salary cap, like the cap. He goes up with the cap every year. Okay, the cap go up, my pay gonna go up.
Yep, it's smarter to do it that way, but not just that. But you're like, hey man, this is a bad situation. I'm stuck in Charlotte. Screw this. I'm out of here. I'm going to New York, or I'm going here. I'm going there.
And in basketball. You can do that because a lot of people understand Even if you say you're going to Charlotte, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sign you to a max contract, and I'm gonna send you to Charlotte.
Yep.
It ain't like the NFL to where it's like we gotta send you over here or keep you. Nah, we can pay you the money right now, and then we gonna ship you. We ain't gotta franchise tag you for the 21 this year. Nah, we gonna pay you the whole thing, not the whole thing, but you gonna give you the whole contract, and then we gonna let them pay the back end. We gonna guarantee the shit, but then we gonna let them take care of it. So it could work both ways for the franchise and the player that way. It doesn't have to just strictly work for the player to say I'm out of here. It can say this is a bad situation for both of us. How about we just go our separate ways? What place you think about? If they're not giving that much, we gotta come on. They gotta give up something to get you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They really work with the players. That's what they're gonna have to do because it's a player league, especially in NBA. That's a player-driven league. Not the NFL. The NBA is a player-driven league.
And that's why the NBA, it's impossible to win a championship. And if you can win multiple, if you can do a Lakers dynasty, or if you can do a Warriors dynasty or a Heat dynasty in your case, like, you do it. You spend the money because the chances of winning in this league are basically slim to none. Whereas football, you at least have a good idea. There's literally been times in the NBA where they start out the season and you're like, man, this team sucks. And all of a sudden they're hoisting a championship like the Warriors from a few years ago. Like, it's literally who gets hot at the right time. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Dance.
Yeah, and not just that, but injuries plague it. They play 82 plus games, plus a playoff, plus an in-season tournament now, and all that other stuff. Like, they're playing a lot of games on top of rehab, on top of playing for practice, on top of everything else that they have to do.
Flights 3 times a week.
yeah, like all over the country and all this other stuff. So it's absolutely crazy. So the people that can hold that trophy, I can only imagine. I hope one day, I get the opportunity to cover sports and I can actually be on the court where that happens and you can see the confetti coming down. I can only imagine how it feels. Or being at a Super Bowl and you finally see them win it and you're just like, oh my God, I'm so happy for them. But yeah, basketball is the one that your personality can win it and your personality can destroy it. You get a bad personality in that locker room, they will tear that thing to pieces.
It's too close. Basketball is too close knit. Like, it's only 12 to 15 guys.
Yep.
On football, it's 56. If I don't like a person, I could be at this locker room, he's way on the other side. In basketball, it ain't none of that. I'm gonna have to see this, bump into him. I'm gonna have to do something's got to give to where we got to be on the same side. But a lot of people understand this is what makes you or break you. If you really truly want to win, personality shouldn't even be a problem because winning comes first. It's nothing. If you're messing us up from winning, I'm gonna get on your behind. But as a grown man, as a professional, if I'm not contributing to winning, I want you to get on my behind as well because maybe I'm in a bad space. You never know. And in that type of environment, like you say, it could be one thing to throw the whole team off. One person can come in and rejuvenate the whole thing. Like Kevin Love last year. Lead us, Kevin. Kevin Love came out of nowhere in the buyout and led us to a finals. Like, what? Not led us, but
he contributed leadership. He's there in the right moment, saying the right freaking thing to the right people. Like, he learned from LeBron.
I say, Kevin Love, man, man, everybody's saying that's one of the best buyouts we ever had. Like, even ever. Like, and he don't, like you said, it's not just the points. It's everything that he comes with. He embodies, like, and it's like you would have thought Kevin Love was over with, but every time he get in the game, be like, why is he not playing more? Like, but he ain't gonna be good if he play more. But it's just simple fact that he does the right things. He does it the right way. Of course, being in the Heat helps. You know what I'm saying? That always gonna help playing with the Heat. I tell anybody, if you want to get better, I don't know why you wouldn't want to go to the Heat. If you just as a person, a man, a basketball player want to get better. The first place I'm telling my agent, hey, see if the Heat got room for me. Just see. I deal with me getting the minutes because I make sure I get the minutes by how I play. So I ain't worried about that because they're gonna play who's playing good. They don't care about, oh, you're an undrafted free agent. We don't care. Start. Yeah. They don't care about that. So
if you come out here and run these dudes up and down this court, I don't really give a shit where you're drafted. I don't really care about anything. And that's the one thing that I love about basketball the most. I tell my wife, one day I'm going to go to New York and see like Rucker Park and all these great places. And I was like, basketball is different because two people can find a hoop, one ball, and they can go one-on-one and find out who the better person is. It doesn't matter about anything else. Yes, of course, once you get to like true adults, there's sizes and weights, and there's some other like factors, but it's one-on-one. I can literally look at you and be like, you suck. I'm gonna dunk right on you. And if I can go out there and do it, I won. This is over. Nice and easy. Conflict averted. Whereas football, you see people just blasting each other in the face. basketball's a little different, man. You got finesse, you got swag, like you're saying, you're elbowing, you're hitting dudes, you're sweating all over them. I mean, to be honest, you're hand checking, you're pushing them off, you're doing everything.
The crowd, a lot of people understand the crowd can reach out and touch you. Like, it's everything about the NBA is just totally different from football. Yep. Like,
and not just that, but the atmosphere is so much better. I mean, obviously they're all covered, so the sound stays in it. It really stays focused on you. And when you're in the finals and you see all that other stuff, like, I wish I could have been at that game when Ray Allen hit that 3 against San Antonio, and you see the entire place lose their goddamn mind. Like, those moments, or like where they finally, the Kawhi hitting the shot over Embiid or whatever it was.
Over Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, in the corner. Then it just bounces and bounces, and everyone freaks the hell out. Like, those are the moments that you live for. You live for the moments where, the one where Wade, where he went to go shoot it up, somebody blocked it, and then he immediately picked it back up, reshot it, and then ran around the gym screaming. Like, that's what basketball is.
And he did that on one leg on the 3.
Yeah, and it's the personality. You go there because I love the player. Like, the NFL, I still support players, but I have a team.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It's not really a face. You got faces like a Tom. Of course, Tom is going to be the face, but it can be like a Bobo. A Bobo is damn near a face in the NBA. He's not even a factor in the NBA. Like, Agreed. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, if it's a third string D tackle for Miami Dolphins, he would never sniff reports. He'll never be on ESPN. None of this. But Bobo be on there. Like, it's something totally NBA. I don't understand. We just talked about this, as in my friends. I know the NFL is more, like, more money is worth more, but I don't understand how it's worth more. Yeah. I just don't get it. It's less players. It's less players in NBA. It's faces. I just don't be seeing it.
Personally, I think that the draw to the NFL over the NBA is urgency. Like, the NFL only has 17. Now they're trying to expand to 18 games. Every game you got to watch to do it. Whereas the NBA, until February, a lot of people don't even really do it. A lot of people jump into the All-Star break or in the in-season tournament, watch that, really get to All-Star weekend, do that. And now we're in the final push of the season. Now the games kind of matter a little bit more. But even then, if your team's really good, they don't. So it's kind of crazy. But regardless, I am going to wrap up the time here. We've got a little over an hour and everything of footage. How are you feeling, bro? You feeling good?
That we need to do this more often.
Hell yeah, dude.